Okay, so we have our for cycle right here. We're going to print out all the elements, all invoices stored under the queue of a type string right here. I just wanna run a quick actually compilation to see what I get. And up to this point, okay, perfect. All right, so basically we just printed out the invoices. Okay, and at this point, since they are actually inside the queue system, we can process the the invoices. Now I'm gonna need one empty one, and I will call this invoice processing. Let's do another one right here to differentiate what we did. Print stored invoices in queue system, okay, in the queue collection, right? Perfect. Got the double quotes, and at this point, let's get serious a little bit. So at this point, we're going to try to process actually the invoices. All right, so what are we doing? I will wrap this into a try-catch cycle. All right, and it's an exception. I will use E. What I'm going to do right here is I'm going to, let's check for the count of invoices. Yes, there we go. Because I'm gonna need that actually for the looping purposes. And I will use this for cycle at this point, and I will say integer ii equals to 0. Then while ii equals is smaller or equal to count, that means process all invoices. Okay, simple as that. There we go. We have it here. Perfect. And then I will say this while count is bigger than 0. Basically, if we have invoices in the queue collection, then do what? There we go. So at this point, I will need methods. Okay, this for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to do these two couple methods for processing within the main, within actually the welcome to future one basically method. Those are going to be embedded functions. So I'm gonna call it processing voice, okay, and I'm going to pass in a parameter string invoice number, okay, so which invoice to process, and obviously I'm going to call it right here now, process invoice. I'm going to process what invoice dot equate. Yeah, so basically I'm going to pick up the available invoice and process it, okay? So that's the dequay going to do actually for me. The INVS is basically our queue, so it's going to dequeue whatever is available for me and will process it through the process invoice method, okay? And then I will have to pick the next one. So and actually, first of all, we pick the available one and then we dequeue it, meaning that we just take it off or remove it from the queue collection. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Give you and right here, since basically what's going to happen is once we reach the point of 0 items in the collection, we're gonna get an error. The way I'm solving it at this point is by try and catch. We could solve it other ways, but That's the way I chose. No more invoices in queue. Okay. You know, it's simple as that. Or we could just raise an exception, but we don't have to do this. Well, it's okay, just the way it is. All right. So we have this process invoices algorithm from here. Okay. So algorithm that's going to process them. And we say process invoice. So what do we do? Do something here, right? We could do payment processing, we could do emailing to customer, we could do any other logic, but for the sake of simplicity, I'll just notify the user that something's been done, right? I will say the following, that let's do some interpolation. So I can use this invoice number. And I would say invoice, no, actually customer, not, actually I was right. Invoice number processed, okay, processed, there we go. Okay, so we did something. But then I'd like to notify the customer, okay, that we processed something. We don't have this method, right? Obviously, I will just do that. Okay, that's an internal method again. There we go, and obviously we do something here, right? So in my case, I will just keep it simple, stupid, and customer notified via email, right? Simple as that. And I will just get a new right line so that we have a clear separation of what we've done. No more invoices in the Abigail. It's okay. Just fine. Just custom message. All right, so let's see what we did. I believe actually we were sort of done here. Okay, so we did excellent invoice processing. I'd like to have another one. Okay, so that we have a clear separation of what's happening in our application. Okay, so obviously before that point right here, we stored all of the invoices into the queue system. This is right here. Okay, so let's just set a confirmation for that. Invoices stored in queue for further processing. Okay, let's see how that looks like now. So I have an error, forgot again the double quote, and all right, accidentally shut it down. Let's see how it looks like. Right, so stored invoices in, there we go. Oh, okay. So first of all, what happened? We logged in as a username A and password A. We checked that credentials against the login information, and that appears to be true. Okay, and we were allowed in our future for invoice processing. Okay, now invoices were stored in queue for further processing. We printed out invoices in queue collection, so we have 5 invoices for processing. And now we started the invoicing processing by picking and dequeuing the previous one which has been processed. So first of all, we picked invoice 1 for processing. Customer was notified via email about this. Then we picked invoice 2, right? Invoice 2, number 2 was processed, and then customer notified via email. And that was up to actually our last invoice, which is the 5th invoice, which the customer was notified via email. And then we have a new actually notification right here, which was no more invoices in queue. Okay. Now I believe that by doing this project, you were able to understand not only the basic things behind backend coding, but we used some complex, some advanced actually functionalities and features. I believe that at this point you would appreciate the solid principle, design pattern, and principles offered actually by this by the for us actually as a design pattern, and you would appreciate the simplicity that the solid pattern actually brought to us in order for us to code actually this unique solution. Now, this messaging can be just taken out from here, and obviously for the sake of simplicity, we could just get another, for example, another class which we could call messages, okay? Messages, and then we can actually store public that static class, okay? That in mind. And then what we can do at this point is we can simplify and keep everything object oriented within our classes, for example, right here. We can call this, let's say, welcome to invoice processing, right? This one right here, invoice processing. For example, I can do it this way: public, example string, welcome to invoice processing. Invoice processing, right? And just do this, okay? This. Oops. This is a method, obviously. String